3:50 a.m. and I got maybe an hour of sleep. The cats were annoying. Now for the end of the video, which is where I show you everything that I purchased. I know this is insane. But yeah, I broke my rule of not purchasing yarn, but you know what? This was my one yarny event that I was gonna go to. Hi, man. So I'm honestly okay with it. I'm not gonna go in any order. I'm just gonna grab something that I purchased and show it to you. And I'm realizing I have something, I'll have to get it later. I will also try, you're going backwards? Try and show, don't touch it. Thank you. Can you come back? Good girl. Can you come here? Can you come here? Astrid, here. She's the one that does not follow commands. Udifix does. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. So I'm just going to show you yarn and what my intention is. Am I going to make this annoying to edit by putting in a picture? Maybe. So there might be a picture, there might not be. It depends on my mood on editing. Oh, she's a pretty girl. There's gonna be so many cuts of me just saying hello because she's so beautiful. We being my mom and my friend, we did go to Bainbridge Island. Unfortunately, La Mercerie was not open because it's closed Mondays, Tuesdays, and we went on Monday because we were flying out Tuesday. And so we went to Lamb and Kid. So I purchased things to make 2 projects. I have 2 skeins, well, 3 skeins total of Diamond Lane porch. That is a fingering weight. It is 50% merino, 30% silk, 20% cashmere, 400 yards per skein. And I have High Vis and Bittersweet. High Vis, can you tell what color? High Vis is an orange. It's not as shocking as what it looks like on camera, but it is still a very bright orange. Bittersweet is a deep purple brown. The plan for this is a particular shawl. Hopefully the outside noise is not terrible because we have the windows open. This is going to be a shawl. I saw a sample at Lamb and Kid. I really liked the sample, and that is what this is going to be. It's a shawl. It's like a triangle. It's one of those irregular triangle shapes. Then I have these guys. This is the Elmer, which is a heavy fingering or sport. 80% merino, 20% cashmere, 400 yards in the cashew colorway. And this is Birdie, their light fingering Surrey alpaca silk, 74% Surrey, 26% silk, 328 yards per 50 grams. And this is Plaid is M. And the 2 of these are going to make another Lamb and Kid sample that I saw. It is a miniature, like a mini kerchief scarf. So that is that. And then my hope is, I feel like I'm not going to be able to do it with this, but at Flock there was, I think, where was it? At the Wandering Flock? Maybe they had sock samples and sock kits where you took a white yarn and then you held mohair with it to just make those athletic stripes. And I like Surrey a lot, so my thought was to do the exact same thing but with some Surrey. I know it's going to be thicker, but just to try it out. So that is that. And then we get into the Flock purchases. We have this beautiful bundle. This is Fangirl Fibers 100% Superwash Merino DK, the Fellowship of the Ring half skein set, coupled with full skeins of Fangirl Fiber in White Rabbit. There should be a third, I think. Yes, there are 3 skeins. So 3 skeins of my main, but then one of my minis is also that. So this is going to be a stripe hype sweater. How gorgeous. Can you tell that it is a black and a gray. So it's a green, my main color, black, gray, a yellowish, and a brown, like a deep mustard. I don't know, is that like too dark on camera? Can you tell? Stripe height. Then this was this purchase was a impulse purchase. This is that what this brand is? Fuzz Family by Creo in Twisted Sister Fingering, which is an 85% merino, 15% silk, 490 yards, in the colorway Robin's Egg. And this is Baby Surrey, so that 74, 26% Baby Surrey alpaca mulberry silk, 328. So it's pretty much the same as this. These two are to make a pair of socks that I saw in the booth for Creo. They had just a stockinette sock, and then they used Surrey to make very large ruffles, so 2 ruffles. They had it in 2 different colors. I just went with the one because otherwise that's like a what, $80 sock, $90 sock. So I think those will end up being adorable. Then we have the Straya cardigan by Andrea Mowry. This is all teal torch knits. I am a big fan of teal torch knits. I have done an advent calendar from teal torch knits. I have made a bralette out of their yarn. So I'm pleased to have more. The Straya cardigan is I think it's like a broken ribbed striped cardigan. So my stripes will be this teal torch knit flicker mini and fingering weight in their like neon rainbow. That has to be coming across camera. I only need, how many are in here? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I only need 8. So my plan is to remove a blue and a pink, a pinkish purple. And my main color will be the hallowed ground, which is a gray with the similar flecks. I was hoping I could get away with just buying 3, but I bought 4 just to be safe. Oh no, yarn on the ground. I bought a stitch marker set from Capella Luna. I saw this immediately and loved it so much that I needed it. And there are these 2 pumpkins. Oh, so cute. I have enough stitch markers to last. If stitch markers were a one-time use and you throw them away after you use them, I think I would have enough for a lifetime. But they're just so fun. I caved and bought the show color for Ritual Dyes. I bought the show color last year. And gosh, it is so dark on camera. I really hope let me turn on a light. Let's do some light, just in case. Is that better? Maybe? Ritual Dyes in Wisteria. It is a periwinkle blue. I don't love blue, but I love periwinkle. This shade I enjoy. This is in Undine, which is their organic cotton linen. 382 yards for 100 grams to 60/40. My plan for this is a tank top. It is, I believe, by Sari Nordland. It has like a lace panel in the front, and it has a similar neck as the Audrey tank, I think. Also an impulse buy. Then we have these beauties. These are, I've got 2 skeins each, Fiber MacGyver Dune. This is a Shiniko wool, 100 grams, 450 yards. I had never heard of Shiniko wool until last year when I went to Sacred Sheep, and the sweater that I bought, my sweater quantity that is actually now a sweater, the Shiniko wool, we saw it all over the place. So maybe it's the new trending wool. It is soft, but it almost gives this like rustic feel to it. I really like it. So this is Dune. And then I have Yarn Nouveau in the Yak Sock in the colorway Highland Rain. Her colorways were, or their colorways were amazing. So it's this deep brown, reddish brown, but also like copper, and so beautiful. This is gonna go together. These are going to be a Lily Kate Makes it's going to be a striped top, and it's just like completely blown through my mind what that was called. At least I'm pretty sure it was, no, it wasn't. No, I was not purchasing for Lily Kate Makes because that was the Calm Down cardigan that I ended up not buying any yarn for. Oh my gosh. Maybe I am going to have to post what I'm making, but this, it's a striped top. And then, not lastly, but not what I had planned to purchase, but I'm always on the hunt for yarn, and it is for the Ishtel, which is that cardigan, or that sweater that came out many years ago, pom-pom, and it has the moon and star all over. It's not coming across, but this is Terrapin Fiberworks. Carl the Fog is the colorway. It's Severn light fingering. It's 100% tensile, 437 yards. So it doesn't feel the nicest, but I wanted something super like glistening, and I got it. For the background of the sweater, it is Pigment and Ply, also another beautiful booth, and it's called I Was in My Tower Weaving Nightmares. Superwash sock, $437. I originally bought this yarn to make a Luna tee, but then I ended up loving how it looked together that I purchased another skein to just make it be that sweater. And speaking of Luna tees, I ended up purchasing from 40 Winks Fibers the color Me Time, which is a reddish brown, 463 yards for 100 grams. It is a 75/25. This will be a Luna top, which is like a broken ribbed top. I also purchased, which I'm not finding, and I went to look for it, I also bought needle stoppers that are Labubus that I just think is so funny. I'm not into the Labubu craze. Totally okay that if you are. I just thought it was really funny to have Labubus as stitch marker stoppers. And then my friend bought Twilight yarn, and she had a bunch of Twilight stitch markers, so she gave me one. The last thing, and the first yarn purchase, which was a impulse buy, is from Nano Stitch Lab. They had these chunky skeins of achromic alpaca sport in charcoal, and they had other colors, but I got charcoal. This is 665 yards for 227 grams, so 2. And they had this sample, which was just a brioche or double fisherman's rib. I think it was fisherman's rib, just all over sweater. And they held it with another like speckle yarn, and it looked so good. So I bought this to hold together to make basically the same thing. This is in Geology Rocks Scientific Sock, which is a 75-25, 463 yards. And that is everything that I purchased at Flock. I'm so excited for everything. I joke that it's gonna, it'll take me forever, but I really am trying not to purchase so much, which is really ridiculous of me saying this, but I really have not bought yarn like all year. And so I'm happy. I'm not gonna say I'm proud of this. I'm happy with everything that I bought. And I think what I'm the most excited to cast on, I think it's this Straya. It's this guy. I think this is going to be a lot of fun to knit, to wear. I don't have nearly as many cardigans, and I've been really into wearing sweaters, pullovers, just like in knitted fabric as well. But I think the cardigan is coming back. And yeah, so I think this is the thing that I'm the most excited to cast on. What am I most likely to cast on next? Frankly, maybe this. I was just really drawn to this shawl, and I really like shawl knitting, but I have a lot to get off the needles first. And with that, I hope you liked this edition of the Flock vlog. I was like, crawl. This is not a crawl. Maybe you are thinking about going to Flock. I really like it. I think it's a lot of fun. Couple tips: if you have never been to Seattle, there's public transportation, so you don't need a car. It's very easy if you're coming from like the East Coast or something, or anywhere that's not Seattle. The Bainbridge Island, there's ferries. It goes about every hour. The public transportation is, in my opinion, great. You might have different opinions, but I come from a city that does not have any public transportation other than buses, and even the ones that are downtown only run maybe once an hour, and you can't really get to a lot of places. So my public transportation is pretty crappy. I feel like I have a tangent about this all the time, but we are the largest city that does not have public transportation in the United States. And I think we are the 14th largest city in the country. So that's saying something, I think. Anyway, let me know if you were at Flock, if you purchased everything you ever wanted, what you're most excited to knit or start with or look at a lot, and if you have recommendations for other festivals I should go to. I have been to, I feel like, quite a few. I haven't been to Maryland Sheep and Wool. I am interested in doing that. And then some of isn't there one in Texas? I like going to ones that are in completely different areas, because the festivals that are around me, love them, they're wonderful, but it is the same vendors at all of them, so, which is fine, but it is exciting to see brands I've never seen before, never heard of. So if you have suggestions, would love to hear about them, even if they're little ones. I went to not Albany, but I went to one in Michigan, and it was pretty small. It was mainly fiber, but it was fun, and we camped. So It's fun. It's fun. I love it. I love the community. I love knitting. I love yarn, crafting. You know, I'm talking to the choir. You guys love it too. And yeah, I think flock is a great time. I haven't done any of the classes either times, this time or last year, and that's fine. I spent the whole time in the market, and it takes us the whole 2 days to really go through the market and go through every single booth. There are talks throughout it, which are really lovely. There's a ton of places to sit. You're smack dab in the city, so you can just leave and go get food. It's wonderful. My only little thing that I'll say that has nothing to do with flock is that one of the streets, which is one street over from the Park Place Market, is where all the buses go, and that is where a lot of the homelessness and the drug use happens. So just be aware. I've never had an issue in the 2 times that I've been there, 2 stints that I've been there, and the first time I was there alone, and I had no issue, no problem. I would say though, if you are flying in, you can take the train into downtown, but then so I was staying in Magnolia, which the train, I couldn't like catch a train to get there. I would have to switch to a bus, which is fine, but I would have had to wait about an hour or 50 minutes, and it was past 11 o'clock, and it was on that street, and I made the decision to get an Uber. And I would recommend that. If you're getting in really late, and I just didn't feel safe being there at that time by myself. If I had been with, frankly, a guy, then I think it would have been fine, but they might have also been a little bit uncomfortable. No one bothered me. It was just, you got that feeling that maybe this is not the place to be, which I don't get that feeling during the day. It's, just something to be aware of, but otherwise it's wonderful. I've enjoyed my time visiting. There's so many places to eat. I forever have a list of places that I want to eat. I would recommend Skalka. It is, we've now gone twice. Big fan. It's just this like big bread boat with ricotta and an egg, and it was amazing. So good. And definitely other people thought it was good because we had to wait for a table to be able to sit down. And lastly, I do want to say thank you to the person who came up to me and said hello. I love that. I hope you and your husband had a great time while you were at Flock and having a weekend in town, because I think you said you were about half an hour away. So love that. Thank you for coming up and saying hello. I know I saw Jess and Rachel from Those Twins Who Knit. I saw them once and they were already like in a crowd talking to people, and so I decided not to, but yeah, I wish I had gone up and said hello. There was a lot of people, and I was like, they clearly they want to shop, right? So anyway, thank you so much. I guess I'll talk to you in the next episode. Bye.